I know you two are Trumpers, and I know the last time we had a conversation on our podcast, Danny was a DeSantis guy. You're a Trumper guy. I think it's all WWE. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But there was talks of Trump being on the list. And it's interesting because I know that people will go to town and defend him, but I want to know from you guys, being hard Trumpers, if it's proven and undeniable, how do you guys
Can I go first? Can I go first? We already covered this on Paranoid Radio Podcast. Check us out on paranoidradio.com. And it's called Epstein, the episode that we dropped about 5 days ago with Flash_News1. And we covered it up and we went in deep into the details and the data and the public knowledge that you could also look up. And you take 5 seconds of your fucking day, go to the search bar and stop saying fuck the orange man and ask fucking Google if he was really in the testimonies and how many times he was on the log. The log went from New York to Florida after him catching up a ride. Now, he was mentioned in a testimony because he threw a party. Epstein was one of his neighbors. Epstein went to the party. Epstein tried to fucking dick around, and I'm saying dick around, with an underage teenage girl at the party. The next day, Donald Trump went and placed a fucking a police report on him. And ever since then, he abolished and boycotted anything that had to do with Epstein. That was what happened, and those were the mentions on the testimonials. Now, a lot of people went, "Oh yeah, he was on the list," but you don't look into the data, how he was portrayed on the list. None of the testimonies said that he literally had any interaction, massages, or fucking blowjobs by any fucking midgets. And I call them midgets because I don't want to say, keep saying the name.
No, I agree with you. I read over some of that documentation, and it was literally questions that were asked to the witnesses. There was nowhere in it was like, did you see Donald J. Trump, former president, blah blah blah, here or there, and none of it was like was factual, if that makes any sense.
Yeah And none of them were sexually explicit. They were asking them like, did he got given 2 massages? No. Like you go through into detail, bro. Like there was every single thing was no. Just because he was mentioning it doesn't mean that automatically he fucked an underage person. Like it is. I mean, you have to look into it, ladies and gentlemen. Like everything. And don't believe me just because I'm saying that I'm fucking K4V3, one of the biggest fucking platforms in the fucking planet. Don't miss out, right? But look, like you gotta go and hashtag look it up yourself. You have to challenge that shit.
Well, and to answer your question, Joe Rizzi, if indeed there was some other things that did come out, and it was 100% confirmed that he is into diggling around with midgets, then fuck that guy.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
If it did come out, then fuck that guy.
Look, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Just 2 years ago, I hated Trump. I have podcasts on my show where I was like, fuck Donald Trump, he's another wing of the bird, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dog, you know what the fuck? And it's true. And exactly what Chef from Sunday Night Secret Society is another great fucking platform in the fucking planet. If I have to join them and say, if I find out today that he's tainted, off with his fucking head. Fuck Donald Trump, fuck the MAGA movement, and now I'm gonna have to go with Vivek. Fuck it. Straight up, bro. It's the truth.
Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys this, just to kind of like pick your brains a little bit. And in no way am I making any assumptions with this question. But do you guys remember when Epstein died? One of the biggest conspiracies that was thrown around was Trump put a hit on him. Because that's when things were starting to really boil, and everyone was like, "Ooh, Epstein's gonna." He's gonna
snitch.
He's gonna bury Trump. In other words, he's gonna mention his name and say that he's gone to his island, probably fucked around.
That's on the table. I am not taking it away. I cannot. Who trusts another man is a damned man. Fuck that. I know what you're saying, and that's on the table. Right. I'm not taking that away.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
Coincidentally,
he was through his power. Look at me. I'm talking shit about Trump here, and I'm a Trumper. Coincidentally, he was in power. Epstein got locked up. And during his reign, I kind of use the fucking king here. He's the best. During his reign, Epstein fucking he was suicidal
himself. Somehow the cameras they stopped working at specific times. Somehow the guards were asleep.
And the autopsy came out, bro. The autopsy came out the way he hung him. It didn't snap his neck the way it was supposed to. And I mean, everything makes sense. The point here is
Obama. That's like Obama getting Osama, kind of, is what you're saying.
And the point here is that if Donald Trump was in power while the main part happened, him getting caught, everything getting seized, and him dying during his reign, it does leave a little stain on the table, and I'm leaving that for reserve. You know what? That's a good question. I got to bring that up to Flash. Good shit.
And you can't say, look, and again, I'm not making any assumptions with this. All I'm saying is just, like we say, you got to question things.
Yes.
And, Trump does have a history of paying people off to not talk. So then again, what makes you think that maybe he didn't pay off some of these unfortunate victims so they don't mention his name or turn the story somewhere else now that Epstein is actually gone? Unless, Ghislaine Maxwell comes out and says other things. But
I think to answer that question, if I may add, that part where he may pay off somebody else, I learned something about this conspiracy game, bro. That no matter how much darkness and black pill you want to take and regurgitate, there's always going to be a white pill. There's always fucking hope. There's always a fucking soul. There's going to be a soul where that says, I don't want your $30 trillion. I'm going to go to the cops and I'm going to speak. And the only way that you're going to shut me up if you fucking either put a dick in my mouth or kill me. It's true, dog. It's the truth, bro. So there's always going to be one that it has to be that one person with an uncorruptible soul, bro. I don't have a price.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just picking brain, asking these questions because, the possibility, it could be very minimal. It could have never happened, but like you kind of like what the phrase you said, it could still be on the table.
Oh, it's on the table. Absolutely. Hell yeah.
That's all.
I've never heard that. That's interesting. But Patrick chimed in, and I do agree with this. There can be a lot of people on the list that never did anything wrong. I do agree with that. Because like we said, this was initially supposed to be counterintelligence, blackmail operation. You know what I mean? Right. So just the psyop of...
Explain that to me. So people on the list that didn't do anything, but the list would be the log, the
flight logs,
the mainland to the island, right? What are you doing?
Let's say this, right? Your show just hit platinum, right? And then Leonardo DiCaprio's like, Trebs, bro, like come with us, let's go party. And then let's take the jet, and somehow at 3 a.m. like you're in the fucking island you didn't know. You know what I mean? Leo knew what he was doing to get you there, so he could be like, hey, you're on the list, bro. My bad. But you're like, fuck, dude, I didn't want to go here, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's possible, I think. And that, you know what I mean?
You know what?
Also, I will say this, bro. Everyone who's on that island is old as fuck. I posted this on Twitter, bro. If this girl was like, hey, I'll suck your dick if you come on the plane, you're telling me you're not going to come over? Yo, Ghislaine Maxwell is pretty bad.